Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and we're going to talk about hair loss. Look at that, the comment on the tree matches my shirt. Isn't that special? Now, the video we're going to reference was called, Is My Hairline Receding, Maturing, or Balding? Now, I did this video, I don't know, I guess a couple weeks back, but I had someone leave a comment that I'm going to read an excerpt from that I think is very relevant to catching new subscribers and newer viewers up to speed with what's going on in this channel and some of the theories I base everything on. So here's what Hans Redgate 1 had to say, or maybe it's Hans, I'm not sure. So the excerpt I want to read is this, quote, Nick, will you regard a mature hairline as a normal process that non-balding people will experience? There's the car in case you're wondering. Can the shape of your head affect the shape of your hairline? Also, can both parents affect this? End quote. All right, great questions. Thank you for asking these questions. So the first question was this: will you regard a mature hairline as a normal process that non-balding people will experience? And that's an easy answer. The answer is yes. It's a normal process. In fact, one of the ways to prove this is look at men that are older and still have a full head of hair. Think of a guy that's, say, 50, and he has just this perfect juvenile hairline. But look right here. Look at the side. You're going to notice at the temples, it's still going to go back a little bit, and that's one way you can see that pretty much everybody has some form of a maturing hairline, even if they don't actually go through the process of balding. It is normal, just in the same way when you're 11 years old or whatever, and you, like for me, I had almost like an oval hairline is what I noticed. So whereas it was going like this, and then by the time I became a teenager it went straight across, and then by the time I became like 19, then it started going up a little bit to start to form that V there. So yeah, I mean it's completely normal, and I'd say it actually be not normal if you don't have some form of a maturing hairline, no matter how much hair you keep in your life. So yeah, just do that. I mean, just Google image Ronald Reagan or Anthony Bourdain or Tony Danza. If you look carefully, you're going to see it goes back even just a little bit. You're going to see that on there. That's just part of the process. So yeah, that's completely normal. Just because you're experiencing your hairline maturing a bit, that does not mean that you're going to lose your hair. That is again, it would be not normal if you had no maturing. That would be not normal. So yes, you're normal. That doesn't mean you're going to lose your hair. It is loud and noisy today, isn't it? And by the way, that's what my last name means in German. It means loud and noisy. I don't know that I am German. If it's English, then I think it means top shelf or something. I don't know. I don't know much about that side of my lineage. Okay. Can the shape of your head, seriously, can the shape of your head affect the shape of your hairline? Well, yeah, and that's a good question. That's very relevant. I have thought about this before. You know, you can have two guys that have ultimately maybe the same ultimate Norwood rating. Maybe they're both a Norwood 2, for example. And maybe one looks like he's lost more hair than the other simply by the shape of his head. He could have a taller forehead naturally, just more from his eyebrows up, or he could have more, maybe of a rounder or more of a square. And depending on the shape of the head, one can appear to have more hair and the other have less, when really they're the exact same Norwood. So yeah, I mean, the shape of your head is going to be affected, is going to portray how your hair looks accordingly. And yeah, I mean, the shape of your head, that naturally is going to be probably based more on one of your parents than the other. I mean, I see that with my own parents. I see that with my own kids. So yeah, it absolutely makes a difference, the shape of your head. Certain people can pull out, like, let's give let me think here, like Brad Pitt. I mean, Brad Pitt's a guy, he's in his 50s. He's got the slight, he's got the little bit of maturing going on right here, but he's got this perfect head. As we all know, he's Brad Pitt. But Brad Pitt's got this just perfect head where it's like just square enough. It's not so round where it makes it look like it goes back further. It's just So yeah, that to me that would be like a perfect head and a perfect hairline, I suppose. If as far as if perfect, if we're basing that off of a Norwood 1. Okay, and then lastly, oh yeah, well I guess I kind of already told it. Can your parents affect this? What I do want to just close out with is a reminder for those of you who haven't watched my video where I show you a picture of myself at age 1, and then I compare that to now at age 35, and I present to you my theory that your hairline at age 1 is a good indication of what your hairline looks as a 35-year-old adult. Because by 35, most men who are gonna lose most of their hair start the process by that point. Whereas I'm still kind of in that Norwood 3 situation, so I'm just kind of in limbo, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to reach Norwood 4 by the time I'm 40 and Norwood 5 by the time I'm 50. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. That's pretty much what happened to my dad as well. Yeah, I was back at my parents' house a few weeks ago, and he showed me a picture of him when he was 39, and his hair didn't really look much different than mine. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's my situation. But, you know, if you're wondering if you're going to lose your hair at a young age, ultimately, I'd say the easiest way is just to look at a picture of yourself when you were 1 year old. And then the next easiest way to figure out is at what age could you grow a full beard? Because I keep running into people that have Norwood 1s or Norwood 2s and they're older than me, and they couldn't grow a beard into their 20s. But for me, I promise you, I had a full beard at age 16. So the earlier the beard, the earlier the hair loss is the theory that I'm definitely seeing. So match that with the fact of what you look like on your first birthday. Not 10 months old, not a year and a half, but a year old. You got to talk to your mom and take a look at the picture. That's a projection of what you're going to look like at 35. Those are my theories that I invented, but I think those are the easiest ways to really get this figured out as you're trying to figure out your future and your hairline. So thank you so much for asking these questions. I know that's a lot of information, but this is just kind of catch you up to speed on my take on how this thing works. I'm Nick Shell. I shall return. Thanks for watching my videos.